And welcome, everybody, to the Philadelphia Sports Alliance off-season Roundtable number 2 draft special. I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric.
And we are live here at the Berwyn Tavern in Berwyn, Pennsylvania, bringing you our wonderful draft special as we always do every year. We're super excited. The draft is under a week. In fact, it is 5 days away. Thursday at 7 o'clock. The Eagles have 2 first-round picks. So we're going to talk a little bit about who the prospects you should be looking at, what the Eagles' team needs are, who they may be targeting, and we'll do a little bit of a mock draft and see kind of how our draft board shakes out in anticipation of Thursday night. Eric, I know for you and I.
Oh my God, I'm nerding out.
This is our absolute favoriteest time of the year. The off season is fantastic. But we really do love the anticipation of the draft, the combine, the pro days.
I have to say, the NFL has nailed the off season. Like, they have figured out how to stay relevant 12 months a year.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the Super Bowl ends in February. There's maybe a little bit of a lull, but
2 weeks. There's 2 weeks before the combine.
And then, the combine hits. You start looking at mock drafts. You start looking at the prospects. You start looking at where your picks are, who they may be targeting. The mock drafts start to roll out from the experts. You start doing a bunch of mock drafts. It really is a fantastic time of year to
anybody
continue.
Who talks to me at work, like say the hours of like 6 a.m. to like 2:15 in the afternoon, they can tell you. I can sit here and rattle off with you guys who I think are slipping. You guys who, this guy, I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. Oh, this guy, the Eagles might have a shot at him at 15. This is like a time of year I just go like it's full on geek mode. It is. I'm a total nerd with this stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'll fully admit I'm the same way.
Yeah, I know
you are. If I'm all right admitting that I'm a little nerdy when it comes to
we've reached that age where it's okay to admit you're a nerd about something.
Is it though?
No, now you're at the age you don't care anymore.
Maybe you might be right on that one.
Yeah.
But guys, we are live here at the Berwyn Tavern in Berwyn, Pennsylvania. Please come on out if you're in the area, or even if you're not.
Yeah, drive down. We got these automobiles. They take you places. It's pretty awesome.
So we have all you can drink, all you can eat specials for what, $25?
Right.
Get a wristband, drink as much booze, eat as much food, come hang out, talk some sports. Yell at us from the crowd if you want to even sit in with us.
We openly encourage taunting. We are not like the NBA, NFL. We openly encourage taunting.
Well, I don't know if I want to encourage people to taunt, but and we're getting booed. Thanks, sir. Can I kick him off now? Is that a thing?
Yeah, one beer in, I'm already getting kicked out.
Well, at least you're better than last time. You didn't spill it this time, right?
Not yet.
But yeah.
Let's go to our state of the birds, and then I can just knock over the beer.
Right.
That's the state of the birds.
But if you can't join us tonight, that's fine. Please join us from your home or wherever you're at. Comment live. Just general thoughts of what you want the birds to do, who you want them to draft at number 15 and number 18, or what positions you're thinking. Anything, whatever's on your mind draft wise.
Right. Please
feel free to comment. Live. Real quick, though, I do want to thank. We have a few people to thank here.
Yes.
Not only Berwyn Tavern. This is the second time we've been here.
But again, thank you, Berwyn Tavern.
Thank you, Berwyn Tavern. They've been fantastic. They hooked us up. We're in the upstairs, all to ourselves.
We got a private party going.
Yeah, private party. Hopefully, more people trickle in, aka your family.
Right now, yeah.
AKA your family.
Yeah.
So we want to thank them. We're also streaming live on the Painted Lines. So we want to obviously give the Painted Lines a big shout out. We partnered up with them. They stream on our Facebook. We stream on their YouTube.
It's a nice give and take.
Yeah, it's a nice give and take. They're a great group of guys there. So check them out, thepaintedlines.com, for all shows that they do. They do an amazing draft coverage. But there's also articles and other stuff there to keep you busy for a while. So check that out. Also, we have just joined up with a fantastic network, Six Pack Coverage, based in Tennessee. They wanted
the Philly takeover.
the Philly takeover. Our brothers at CEV Sports and us at Philly Sports Alliance, Philly based, have kind of taken over with bringing all of our shows to their network. They're a little bit more nationwide, so you can visit them at sixpackcoverage.com. So they not only do sports podcasts, articles, stuff like that, but there's also like lifestyle, fitness, food, travel, you name it.
Clearly, I'm the guy to talk to about the fitness section.
Clearly. So check them out again. It's sixpackcoverage.com to see all their wonderful shows that they have there, and obviously to check out our shows. And then last, but certainly not the least, the official sponsor of the Philly Sports Alliance, La Terrain Watches. They are just an amazing, amazing company. You can visit them at www.la-terrain.com for just really nice watches at affordable pricing.
Also, like so many other accessories.
Sunglasses, bands, other stuff for the ladies.
Yeah.
So check them out. Use code PSA for site-wide discounts at checkout. I personally got an Atlas watch in the midnight color. It is absolutely fantastic. I love wearing it.
When I look at it, I think, man, that's got to be like a $300-$400 watch.
And it's not. It's not even close. So check them out, la-terrain.com. All right. So we did that. We'll thank a few other people later.
Sure.
So we want to get into it. Let's start right now where we are currently with the Eagles. Let's talk about where they are and heading into the draft.
Okay.
We're obviously not going to
state
of the birds. Yeah.
Everybody who watched the last roundtable knows how I felt about the state of the birds at the time.
Right.
Look, this is a team again. Like I feel like I'm still emphasizing they're a team in flux. We don't know really who they are, what they are. I look at it and I say, how are you? Every team, there are the four pillars of an organization.
Right.
How are you set at those four pillars? And those pillars: quarterback, offensive tackle, defensive pass rusher, and there's a fourth one that wide receiver. God, wide receiver. Wide receiver has now entered into that. Like, if you've seen anything, I apologize for stuttering through that. But wide receiver has now become that fourth pillar. Maybe it would have been a linebacker or secondary piece, but now, like with the state of the way the NFL is, wide receiver has moved into that fourth pillar.
No, I agree. And just taking off of what you said there, the Eagles are obviously a little unsure of the quarterback.
Sure.
You can't get a good read of whether they really like Hurts or whether they don't like Hurts or whether they're in the middle. But either way, they have done things that make you look and say that, all right, maybe they are a little bit in the middle. And they are going to give him another year to figure things out.
And I think it's okay. It's okay.
That is more than okay. Yeah. But they're also setting themselves up for next year with the extra first, and 2 years from now with the extra second, a little extra draft capital after that trade with the Saints. That, hey, listen, we know that the draft class for the quarterbacks are better next year. Mm-hmm. So you're going to set yourself up, if you need to, you have capital to move around to get somebody who can be that franchise guy.
Oh, exactly. And that's what they're looking at. The way they saw it is that Jalen Hurts in 2021 earned 17 more starts.
Right.
You didn't earn a franchise contract. You didn't earn to be considered one of the top-tier quarterbacks in this league. But he earned 17 more starts. And so that's really all he's promised now is 17 more starts, if healthy, obviously.
Right.
And then you go from there. And you know what? Maybe that's just the way this league's going to be now. Like, you're going to see teams it used to be, like, even as recently as Carson Wentz, where you want to get out ahead of getting the big contract. So you're not playing from behind and then having to give him the biggest one. Now, I think teams are now going to say, well, why don't we hold off as long as we can before giving a quarterback that franchise-type contract?
Well, yeah, I think any team in the NFL is looking to hit on that quarterback early
Sure.
so that they can utilize that rookie contract
Right.
before they have to pay them 30, 35, $40 million.
And
then,
you see things that then a couple of years later, a team like the Seahawks are having to trade Russell Wilson
Right.
because they're saying, well, we're kind of maxed out where we are with Russell. And now, granted, he won you a Super Bowl, got you to another.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he did his job.
Yeah, he did.
Franchise
right,
quarterback.
but now you see that they weren't able to afford some of the other pieces.
Right.
That crazy defense that they had. Obviously, they couldn't keep it up. So, yeah, that's the sweet spot, and they're hoping that they have that a little bit with Hurts, but again, he's moving into.
Well, now you're getting into that unsettled area where
Right.
okay, even if he has a breakout year this year, he's
Right.
going to want to get paid.
Well, right, but he also has another year
Before you really have to worry about
they can utilize.
However, though, because he wasn't a first-round pick, you don't have the fifth-year option.
You don't have the fifth-year option, right? That is very true. So, all right. So you said quarterback, offensive tackle. Where are we standing on offensive tackle?
Well, I like where we're at with Mailata. Lane Johnson, I mean, he's getting a little up there. And I don't know where we're at with Andre Dillard. I think it's time to say that maybe he's a bust.
Yeah, I think he could very well be traded.
Yeah.
On draft night.
Oh, he easily could be.
So if you're talking that, yeah, you have Mailata, who's young, who has a pretty team-friendly contract when you think about it. And, yeah, you have the aging veteran in Lane Johnson that you're eventually going to need to replace, and you don't know how many years you have with them, especially with the uncertainty of somebody like Kelsey, who seems like every year he's going to retire, but he doesn't.
Right.
So, yeah, I get it. You're going to need to plan to fix the right side. But as of right now, I think combination-wise, we probably have the best two tackles in the game.
Yeah, at least in our division, I would agree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I think we're pretty good there. Not a concern. All right, you said what's the next thing you said?
I said defensive end.
Defensive end. All right. Well,
because you need a pass rusher. Like that's clearly, the next great area. And I would say they're very unsettled at the pass rush.
Well, yeah, you have somebody like Barnett who has been a disappointment for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You have somebody like Sweat who.
I think thought he was going to.
Yeah, you thought he would break out a little more than he did, and he hasn't. You have Brandon Graham, who's. Let's be honest, when he first got drafted, we were very upset.
Sure.
He took a little while to develop.
Sure.
And now he's one of the favorite Eagles by many people.
Yeah,
but he's also
justifiably so.
Yeah, but he's coming off of a major injury. That Achilles is not a joke.
Older age. Yeah.
And an old age. So. I think we've said it a few times where I feel like the offensive line and the defensive line are very mirrored right now.
Oh yeah,
you have two aging veterans on either side that you're probably going to have to plan for this year and next year as far as replacing, with Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham on the defensive side, and Kelsey and Lane Johnson on the offensive side.
Right, and when you see like the good teams out there. Like, we all notice the bad teams, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, are going to draft something that they need right now. The good teams that you see out there, the teams that are playing in January and February, those are the teams that are drafting guys who, for needs that they're down the road.
Right.
Like, when they look at, like, say, if the Eagles were thinking that way, they'd look at it and say, okay, we need a defensive tackle out of this draft.
Yeah.
Because Fletcher Cox, probably in his last year, you're going to be looking at trying to replace him next year.
Right.
And then there's the question of Javon Hargraves. Like, what are you doing at that other defensive tackle position in a year?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You have teams that are drafting for what they need currently because they do not have anybody.
Because they haven't had a plan.
And then you also have teams like the Eagles who have been lucky enough to do that over the years.
Well, and one of my favorite scenarios to talk about with that was the year that they drafted Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown when they still had Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent.
That might be the greatest example of a team drafting people and early.
Yeah, first and second round.
Drafting early for a position that they already had amazing players. The starting corners
and
there
Lito
were
Shepherd and Sheldon Brown went on to have sensational careers with the Eagles.
Yeah,
and it was all based around it wasn't drafting just for need. It was drafting for
The
what you
eventual.
saw down the road.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think the Eagles
They've
could
been one of
potential.
those. I think they set the tone for that. They were
Yeah.
one of the first teams to go out and do that. And I think you got a lot of teams thinking, "Hey, wait, that's the model to go after, to follow."
Now, don't get me wrong. The Eagles have immediate needs,
Oh, sure.
and we will
We're gonna
absolutely
get into it.
we will absolutely get into it. Edge rusher. Who else? Defensive end, wide receiver, linebacker. We'll talk about them. But you mentioned interior defensive line. I could
Yeah.
easily see them doing that.
Sure.
You mentioned offensive line. I could easily see them doing that. These are
And doing it on Thursday and Friday nights.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll definitely get into it. All right. So next you said wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take this one for a second.
Yes.
Philadelphia Eagles have the potential to have a very good wide receiver core. They have Devontae Smith, who we all believe was a great selection, who is going to only continue and grow. Now, you obviously had some setbacks. Rager hasn't lived up to it. Whiteside hasn't lived up to anything. In fact, he's no longer a wide receiver. He is now a tight end, or at least going to try. He's going to try to make the team as a tight end. You have Quez Watkins, who's been surprisingly pretty nice, but is what he is.
Sure, he's a mid to late round draft
Right.
pick who you gave an opportunity to, and so far he's done really good with it. Had one of the longest plays I've ever seen.
Not be a
result in
touchdown. Yeah, the 90-yard bomb. Yeah. So you also brought in somebody like Zach Pascal, who again is not probably going to be a difference maker.
He's
He's an all right piece, right?
Yeah.
You have Greg, the old reliable Greg Ward, who just is never good enough, but will
then
always
around the end of the year, you're always
needing
thinking he's
people
going to get cut.
Right.
And then he'll make a big play late in the season and be like, "Hey, wait, maybe next year will be
next year." Right. Well, he's been the captain of taking advantage of injury.
Yeah,
And that's the reason why he's still in the squad. But there's a lot of people that don't want the Eagles to draft a wide receiver 3 years in a row in the first round, and I can understand that mentality.
Sure.
And it's mostly coming from a mentality of, all right, well, they haven't been that successful. Rager and Whiteside are still in the brain for a lot of Eagles fans. Now, granted, we did pretty good with Smith. And if you can get somebody young with Smith, you have a guy that's coming in rookie year and a guy coming into year two.
Yeah.
And they're, could be a good tandem moving
this could
forward.
be a huge year for Devontae Smith. I always say the biggest improvement is from year 1 to year 2.
Right, because you
had that
had the
first
full season,
full
you
off
figured
season.
some things out, you had the full off season, exactly. So, and we'll obviously talk about who may be there and who they may be targeting. So, it's obviously a need, for that second spot after Smith. So, we'll certainly talk about that a little bit later, but I want to get into the official team needs. So you were just talking about kind of the four league-wide cornerstone of a team.
Yeah, I call it the 4 pillars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to bring this up here. Wrong one.
Well, those are your wide receivers.
Matter what. All right, so we're going to talk about team needs. First thing I want to talk about is edge rushers.
Hold on. I got to call timeout here.
I know.
Your first thing is not going to be. I was fully mentally prepared to talk about linebackers first, but all right, let's talk.
Everybody knows my affinity for linebackers, and I don't need to shove it down everybody's throat all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes I like to take it back and.
Sure.
Right. So I want to talk about edge rushers, and I want to talk about the top 5 edge rushers in the NFL draft coming up.
Yeah.
Because at 15, at 18, very likely one of these guys will be there, if not 2 or 3.
Right.
And they very well could select one of them.
Sure. And I think if one of the top 5 edge pass rushers is there, I do think the Eagles will take it.
We all know Howie loves.
As much as you love linebackers and I love corners, that's how much Howie loves the edge rushers.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk about the top 5 edge rushers right now. The first two, I think we can all agree, not going to be anywhere close to where the Eagles pick. And if they want any of them, they're really going to have to move up, probably top 5. If not, I mean, Hutchinson right here is probably going 1.
He's going 1, yeah.
Thibodeau could easily go 2, 3, 4 in that range. So we're really going to have to trade up if we want any of those guys.
And the Eagles ain't trading up to the top.
I don't believe so. So Hutchinson from Michigan, Thibodeau from Oregon. But then we get to 3, 4, and 5. Mm-hmm. Now, those are the guys that I think are going to be in the range where we can actually select. So Jermaine Johnson, the second, out of Florida State. I think he's probably going to go anywhere from that 10 to 15 range, but could slip. I've seen him slip in a few mock drafts.
I could see him going as high as like 7 to the Giants, and I could see him slipping, like you said,
like
down to the
early 20s. Yeah. Next, you have George Karlaftis out of Purdue.
And he's another one. I feel like
all over the place. Yeah. And I really do enjoy his game. In fact, I would not be mad if the Eagles ended up selecting him, or Johnson for that matter.
I wouldn't be mad either one.
At 15 or 18.
In fact, on Monday night when you asked me, when we were talking about guys we'd pound the table for, Jermaine Johnson was one of those guys that said
for sure. And then next I have, and I'm going to butcher his name unless you want to.
Karlaftis?
No. I already talked about Karlaftis.
Oh, okay.
Bickety? Arnold
Bickety?
Mike Dye. I don't know.
The guy from Penn State.
Right. The guy from Penn State. Nobody gives you the full, our apologies to him and his family.
See, last year we had Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Oh yeah, that one tied me up.
I really worked hard to be able to pronounce that on draft night, and of course the guy slips in the second round, so I don't get to say his name during the live draft special.
But yeah, so he's from Penn State. I've seen him late first, or at least second.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be kind of in the mix for the Eagles.
Not unless the Eagles are in a trade back.
Exactly. So those are your edge rushers.
Which I would not be opposed to, by the way. Trade back scenario.
No, I would not be. Next, I want to bring up is wide receivers.
Yeah.
So obviously we just talked about it, but here's the top 5 wide receivers in our opinion. And obviously the order kind of changes depending on what you're talking about. Jameson Williams out of Alabama. I think he'd be fantastic with Smith.
Yes.
Just two Alabama young wide receivers.
Roll damn Tide.
Absolutely. Next, you have Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, who I think is probably going to be the first wide receiver taken. Probably in the
I think
8.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta at 8. I've seen.
Spoiler alert for my mock draft. That's where I have Garrett Wilson.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Drake London out of USC. I know we all.
Everybody has the Nelson Aguilar.
Right. Yeah. We don't like the Pac-12 wide receivers. No. I get it. But he's probably going to be in the mix at from 8 to 13.
Yeah.
But I could also see him slipping.
I could see him slipping, but 8 to 13 seems to be the sweet spot.
Right. Next, Treylon Burks, who I really like.
I love him. And I secretly have I really like this guy.
Yeah.
I think he could be the next Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's going to be great. And I think also he'll be there for both picks.
Yeah.
I've seen him, in the late teens to late 20s range.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Eagles really do love him, they can even do a trade back scenario, get some capital, and even still select Burks out of Arkansas. And then next, our number 5 is Chris Olave from Ohio State, second Ohio State wide receiver on this list.
Right.
I have seen him as high as the early teens. I have seen him as low as the late 20s.
Yeah, like the
Packers. He is one wide receiver that I cannot get.
I can't get a gauge on how this league feels about some of these guys.
Right.
And,
No,
he's one of them.
I fully agree. I'm not a huge fan of his. I would prefer not to have him because I think he might be a little too similar to what we have already on the roster.
Okay.
So I would personally avoid, but who do I know, right?
Well, I mean, look, we sat here a couple of years ago and said we both love Justin Jefferson.
We did. We pounded the table for Jefferson,
Yeah.
both of us.
Yeah.
You can check the tapes, and sure enough, yeah, we were right.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen that often, right?
Well, and that's why we have to remember it when it happens. So
Yeah, that's why we're going to shove it down your throats
Damn
whenever
right.
we're right. But yeah, so obviously I think wide receiver is heavily in play for the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they haven't been able to get a free agent wide receiver in here that has that impact.
But they have what? Is it 3 in the top 50?
50.
Okay, it's 51. Okay, so
Yeah.
3 top 51.
And I can see them go second round. There's a lot of
Sure.
good wide receivers
Absolutely.
in the second round. Pickens,
Dotson.
Mechie, Dotson,
Yeah.
Pierce. There's
Sky
Moore. Yeah, they're all over the place. So for sure, there are some options. And the last one I wanted to bring up here as far as team needs. Now, these aren't the only team needs, believe me. We have a lot of them. Defensive back. I kind of grouped them together just because I feel like don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really good second round safeties that I really like,
Sure.
and we'll talk about it. But I just kind of grouped them all together. Kyle Hamilton to me, and we know how much I love my linebackers. Kyle Hamilton to me would be my number one selection if we were to get anybody. Over Devin Lloyd, over Nakobe Dean. I would, if you're telling me,
this is one of the signs of the apocalypse. he is stating he'd rather have a safety than a linebacker.
If you tell me I can have Kyle Hamilton, but I can't have Devin Lloyd, I will do that. Guaranteed. If it was guaranteed.
All right.
Now, granted, I have seen where the Eagles need to trade up. I've seen him go as high as number 2. Hell, I've seen him in mocks as number 1, technically.
Right, yeah, back in the early beginning
of
the process, yeah.
But I've also been seeing him now fall a little.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mostly it's because of the devaluation of the safety position. But I've seen him fall to us at 15.
Well, and I wonder, we started off the broadcast, I talked about the 4 pillars of the organization.
Yep.
And I wonder how many picks you're going to see in that top 10 that are going to be outside of those 4 pillars.
Yeah.
And I think that, teams thinking that way, that could be a reason why you get Hamilton to fall. You talk about the devaluing of the position of safety. And that's where, man, it's funny because the teams, you take a look at the teams that are going to be picking at the end of this first round, the teams that were playoff teams and championship teams, and how well set they are at the 4 pillars. That's why they're able to go and get a safety in the first round. They're able to go get a tight end somewhere in the first or second round because they set themselves up. They knew when it was time to start their building, they started with the 4 pillars.
Yeah.
And that's why you see the successful teams don't have to add to this position. That's why you see a team like Jacksonville. I think they're taking Aiden Hutchinson. Spoiler alert. That's why I have going.
Sure. Yeah.
I know. I really stepped out on that limb there with that one. It was firm as a tree trunk, but I'm out there on that limb. So I think the Jaguars are going defensive end in Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
But when you look at teams like the Kansas City Chiefs or the Bengals who were in the Super Bowl, the Rams who won the Super Bowl,
right?
What help do they need at any of the 4 pillars?
None.
Yeah.
None. And that's the beauty of teams like that when you get to the end of the first round is you can just basically say, hey, listen, best available. Or, hey, listen, we have somebody that might not be here in the year or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a person there that fits the value. Let's draft them and build up the replacement now. Because that's just, again, a smart decision by a team. But anyway, so yes, Kyle Hamilton's my number 1 defensive back. I'm at Sauce Gardner, number 2. Again, I've seen him as high as 2. I've seen him fall to the teens. I think Sauce is going to be somebody that we're going to need to trade up for.
I agree.
And I would rightfully so. And if he falls to somebody like the Jets at number 10, I would do it in a heartbeat, throw him a third round.
I really think if you get either Sauce or Hamilton, falls at number 10.
It's a home run draft. You got to go up and get it. Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU. This guy was super, super, super highly recruited.
Yeah.
Was the clear-cut number one defensive back months ago.
Yeah, and his freshman year, 2019.
Yeah.
Everybody said, man, this guy, when he comes out in 2 years, he is going to be number
He's going to fall in line. He's going to fall in line with the LSU defensive back.
Right.
As we've seen Patrick Peterson, we've seen
he was going to be next in line.
Matthew, exactly. Like he was that next guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's slipped a little bit, which could be to the advantage of the Eagles. Wow,
yeah,
I'm literally watching basketball on the screen. Next is Andrew Booth Jr. Out of Clemson. I like him. He's definitely going to be somebody that's going to be there or should be there at 15 or 18. Really hope that he is. No, Daxton Hill. I had thought about Daxton Hill, don't get me wrong. He was in the mix, and I think he's probably my number 6. I just like Booth and McDuffie a little bit better. That's just my personal preference, but I would be okay with it. He is somebody, again, from Michigan.
Yeah, Booth and McDuffie are both natural corners, and look, corners are going to be valued over safeties. Daxton Hill is either going to play safety or slot corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
And his ability to do both of those is going to help him a ton.
No, agreed. But, Richard, I agree with you. He's like 5B to me. Sure. Honestly, you could have easily put him in there instead of McDuffie.
And I think that shows kind of the depth of this group.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I mentioned before, I can't spell. Oh, never mind.
We got our crowd coming.
It's literally just about to write down.
What's up, Jody?
All right, we got some people coming now. Time
really
better late than never. Better late than never. All right.
Fantastic. Love the families here. Yeah. It's so awesome. Like, everybody who, we watch it home. How you doing, Nicholas?
Good. How about you?
Yeah, everybody come around.
Yeah, just walk.
Let's go.
Walk by the camera.
Don't go that way.
Walk by the camera. Trip it. Yeah, do whatever. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
Eric, if this isn't your family, I don't know
Oh,
what
my God, yeah. This is what they do. Oh, here comes the mayor of Berwyn.
Oh,
There he is in the house.
All right. Well, again, if anybody is even remotely close, the
Come
party
out
definitely
we
just
will
started.
shout you out when you come in the door here.
Yeah. But also, I want to.
Hey, can we shout out our
Yeah, I was
going to
say. I want to say definitely shout out to our good buddy Mike. Thank you very much for showing up. It's been a long time. You've been a listener of our show for a couple of years now. It feels like, right? It's been about
it's been a couple of years.
So we appreciate you coming out. It means a lot to us, honestly. So.
And it's we were talking about it off air, and he's, I don't really think you believe me at first. And I was listening to you guys from China. And I just really didn't think that we were allowed in communist countries.
Oh, that's funny. Richard says, I like Booth too. Seems he fits our scheme. Yeah, no, I agree. I think he'd be a great selection, especially if we're in the scenario where we might trade back from 18 to like 22, 23, 24 in that range. I feel like Booth could probably be in there.
Where I've been ad nauseum, I know everybody's going to have to hear me say this again, but trade back with Pittsburgh, who could be coming out to look at a Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. And we could fleece them for something pretty decent. So.
If they really believe the Saints are going to draft.
So, all right. So the other one, and I didn't do a fancy little grab.
Oh.
And I only really want to talk about a few of them.
Okay.
It's linebacker!
I am shocked, everybody. Let's talk linebackers.
Listen.
All right. Have the floor.
Listen. This is the year. If there was ever a year since 1979 for the Eagles to finally draft a linebacker in the first round, it's this year. I know it's not going to happen. I will get my hopes up like I do every year, and I will get them crushed. But Devin Lloyd should be there at 15. And if he is, we should draft him. He will change our defense in ways that we can only imagine. If we aren't going to trade up for Hamilton, Sauce, Stingley, which I understand makes a lot more sense. I get it with philosophies and with the value of the position within the NFL and our needs. I get that. But if we're not going to do that, let's go get Devin Lloyd. Personally, I think we should trade up from 18 to 10 to the Jets. Give them a third, give them a fourth next year. And that should be enough. Get Hamilton, Stingley, Sauce, whatever, who's there.
Whichever one's there.
And then at 15, grab Lloyd. And if you grab those two, your defense is different in such amazing ways. Your defense is completely changed.
Remember what I said in our last roundtable, what I wanted the theme of this offseason. Make football violent again. That's what I want. Make football violent.
If you get Hamilton and you get Lloyd, I don't know if I don't know if I can handle that. I really don't know if I can handle that.
World where you have to try and handle that.
I seriously won't be able to handle it. I'll fall down the stairs. I don't even know what. I'll crash my car down the ravine. I just won't be able to handle
You
life.
gotta survive.
I won't be able to.
You got to at least see one game where you dreamt it.
I don't know if I'd be able to handle it. It would be my dream scenario. Hamilton and Lloyd. And I'm trying not to get like vulgar.
Sure, yeah.
But I want to get vulgar because that's
Go with it, man.
No,
Just go.
That is my dream scenario for me.
Yeah.
Hamilton, Lloyd. What about you? What's your dream scenario?
Really? I got to follow that?
Oh,
I had to. Yeah, I know. We already had some debris last year.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Jody. Hide those
Shout out to my
cores.
wife.
Hide those cores. I blame you somehow.
Me? You're the one literally pounding the table for your linebacker.
I don't remember that. All right. So what is your dream scenario?
Yeah, we trade back and
Except
get a couple
for
points.
Allie, everybody else, do it. Make them. Force them.
So, my dream scenario for the Eagles would be, a situation where you're able to, I would say, trade back 15 to 20 receivers.
Okay.
And then,
So you have 18 and 20?
yes,
Okay.
and hoping to get something.
No, I want exact. I want exactly what you want. What do you want? Dream scenario. Everybody's on the board with the exception of like the top 10 that we all know is not going to be there.
Okay, so my dream scenario.
And you've already traded, so you're at 15 and 20.
I'm at 18.
Or 18 and 20, sorry.
All right. Well, my dream scenario then is for Sauce and Kyle Hamilton to fall to 18 and 20.
Well, I said realistic.
Okay, so I made the trade. I want Andrew Booth, and I'll tell you what. Who I want? I want Jordan.
Matthews.
No.
Jordan Mailata.
Oh.
Mailata, by the way. It's Mailata. I heard him personally say it. So,
Jordan Davis.
okay, so you want Jordan Davis at 18.
Yeah.
And who you take? Okay, that's not bad. I would take that. I think that's a win. Because you have, another interior defensive line that kind of takes over for the Cox replacement. And your whatever uncertainty about Hargrave after next year.
Right.
And then Booth comes in and immediately becomes your number 2 with Slay.
And because also, I think as much as we talk about the edge pass rushers and how important it is to get one, I think that's a position where you can get that in the second round. Because it is so deep. I think it's deep to the point where there's going to be some guys who slip into the second round.
Yeah.
Who should have been first round.
Well, think about the perfect example, a job.
Yeah.
You have somebody that was projected in the teens, maybe even top 10.
Yeah, he was borderline top 10. Yeah.
And with his injury, and he's going to be out the year. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he still goes first round.
Oh yeah,
Somebody like Kansas City, somebody like Cincinnati, somebody like that, who can afford to have a potential top 10 player.
Well, let's be
and
honest.
sit.
When you're drafting a guy, you're not just drafting him for that year. You're drafting him for the future. 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years if you're first round.
Right. But that's what you're drafting him for. So, okay, if you say you're going to have a red shirt year, but then year 2, you're basically getting a top 10 pick in there. I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Like if Jameson Williams was going to miss the entire year, now that the projections are he might make it back for week 1.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if he was going to be out October, November before he comes back, if you're still getting a top 10 wide receiver out of this, like, I'd still take him.
Yeah. Especially if you
Because you're not just drafting a guy for 1 year. This is where people get so caught up in, like, when they say, okay, this quarterback, he's NFL ready right now. I don't need the guy who's NFL ready right now. I want the guy who's got the highest ceiling, the guy who's going to be the better player. You're not drafting guys who can give you 1 good year. You're drafting so he can give you a good career.
Yeah, no, you're right. But to play devil's advocate, sure.
I appreciate it.
I mean,
Great move.
yeah, it was. I think we can all think back. We drafted a certain cornerback in the second round
Sidney Jones, yeah.
from Washington, Sidney Jones, who was all intents and purposes.
The exception that
Well, I mean, you're right. There are obviously exceptions to everything, but what I'm saying is we did the same thing, and it didn't work out in our favor.
Sure.
And
You can't be ready to do that again.
no, I'm not saying.
I know you're not.
It's the same philosophy of not being afraid to draft another wide receiver in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Because you missed on Rager, and although Jay Jall was the second rounder, you missed horrendously on him instead of getting DK Metcalf.
You missed as bad on him in the second round, and I think because of who went right after him, DK Metcalf the very next pick.
Yeah. Well, again, it happened to us twice.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are afraid that if you draft a wide receiver, the next wide receiver is going to instantly be an all-pro. It's like the Eagles' curse.
So if you're the team. So if you're say the Saints and
Yeah, like say the Saints.
Yeah.
Say if we draft.
actually, gosh, it's the Saints both times.
It really is. So say if we draft a wide receiver in the first round,
The
that
Saints have to
15th
take the
pick.
next pick.
Saints are probably like, well, we need a wide receiver.
No,
we
we
might
have
as well do it now. And the curse continues.
We better just take the receiver.
Right.
because we know it's gonna be a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I was the Saints, I'd do it in a
I
heartbeat.
totally would, yeah.
So, yeah. Again, it's hard because again, you have Howie who gets absolutely crapped on at all times by Eagles fans, and rightfully so. He's made some bad choices, but I'm not ready to say he's the worst GM ever because he's not. And not every GM hits on 50% of their picks. It's just not feasible.
Well, and every Eagles fan just remembers.
Only
how
remembers
badly-
the bad.
Yeah, and how badly the Eagles missed. They don't remember how bad, like,
The Ravens missed
or
on this
like
guy.
Matt Millen, how many years in Detroit drafting receivers?
Right, exactly. So again, it's all in context of the great scheme of things. And the fact of the matter is, you're not going to hit on everything.
This
So
is how I know we've been doing shows too long. I didn't even have to say anything to you. You passed the beer.
come on, man. Oh, come on. I've only known you for
30 years or so.
almost 30 years, 25 at least. Right?
At least.
Well, again, I wanted to talk a little bit more about after the draft.
Yeah.
Because as we all know, that once the draft is over, 3 days, there's a little bit of a free agency frenzy of that third, fourth tier.
Yeah.
And there's some decent names out there. we've been linked to a bunch of them. Tyrann Mathieu being one of them, which I don't feel like he's signing until after the draft.
At this point, it would be kind of silly.
Jarvis Landry, another one. Not signed until probably after the draft.
If you're a prominent name right now, you should just wait till after the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense. But those are still two big needs that the Eagles have that they can, and they've been linked, right? So, like, say if the Eagles don't get a wide receiver in the first couple of rounds, or get somebody that they feel could come in and compete for the number 2 spot, right? Say they don't get a safety that could easily beat out Marcus Epps, who at this point is your starting safety, who at this point I think I might be able to maybe compete a little with Epps. I'm not as quick as I used to be, but I got fluid hips. I can do the fluid hips thing.
Should we do a Philly versus combine?
I don't know what you're thinking. I want known parts of it.
That's probably a wise decision.
So I think there's going to be a little bit of a free agency rush there after the draft, and even before day 3, because some of these players are in the mindset of, okay, well, you drafted whatever. Those are going to be people that are probably starters or are going to compete, and now you're into day 3, you're in rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those guys aren't going to be the starters, most likely, unless you have a severe need, like Jacksonville or Detroit. And that'll allow them to maybe sign with a team before that. Yeah, I can see it. But what I'm saying is, this offseason still has a long way to go. Is not only do we have the draft in a couple of days, but you also have the next week after that's probably going to be a little bit of a feeding frenzy when it comes to, free agents.
Yeah, I'm trying to take the picture.
A really nice guy. One of the guys at Berwyn Tavern literally hugged the wall so he wouldn't be on camera, but he clearly could have just walked out of it. Poor guy. But we appreciate it.
I feel like we should just encourage them all to do that entirely.
Hug the wall? Yeah. Again, we're having a great time.
Always a great time here.
We got a few people in the crowd. Mike and his buddy have been here for the whole time.
Yeah.
The Salvo clan finally showed back up.
They're passionate.
None of my friends showed up, which is great. None of your friends technically showed up, only your family.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think my family are friends.
Yeah, but they live so close. That's probably the only reason why they're here.
Yeah, my one buddy, and I'm going to shout him out.
Oh, do it.
He said he was going to be here. It's his birthday weekend. He can say whatever he wants.
Joe's not here.
Yeah, Joe's not here.
Yeah, no,
I will now break the privacy laws.
Oh, wow.
From his text.
Well, I will say I want to shout out our other co-host, Mr. Ryan Fitterman, who
will soon, but I hope that rest goes up.
who was going to be with us tonight. Unfortunately, fell a little sick yesterday. Wasn't feeling well in time. So feel better, buddy. You were supposed to be commenting and at least helping us out in that aspect, but apparently you are probably sleeping. Sleeping.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
So, okay. I texted my buddy. I said, hey, man, come out to the Berwyn Tavern. He never really fully committed, but he said, man, that's really what I want to do. It's my birthday weekend. I should get to do what I want to do, and that's kind of what his wife told him. And so, he said, hey, buddy, we went out early and I drank too much. We're in for the rest of the night.
He sucks.
But again, he's the nicest guy in the world. He's
But then
awesome.
so do my friends. So,
Although, Mike, my other buddy Mike, he is, well, actually, he never actually committed to coming out. Like each time I would say something to him, he'd say it's a possibility, maybe. So he couldn't rule it out. So I can't blame him. That's actually really well played. He's a great politician in that regard.
I don't think he did that on purpose.
No, I think he definitely was just like, I don't want to get into this.
There you go. Well, anyway, if you guys are anywhere near Berwyn, or even if you're not, come on out to the Berwyn Tavern. We are here upstairs live, talking draft. If you want to come on air, you just literally just come sit next to us. We don't care. If you want to shout stuff at us in the crowd, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully not taunting us.
Taunt us. Are you not entertained?
Oh my God. Please go. But yeah, so
Hi, everybody.
a big shout out to the Berwyn Tavern for allowing us to do this. We always do enjoy having a good time here. It's our second time doing it. And yeah, we had a great time last time. We partied. Afterwards, Eric will definitely buy you a beer if you come out. Or you can take advantage of our all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink special. It's $25. And literally just go friggin' nuts. Yeah, go nuts. So, plenty. Looks like a couple people have already taken advantage of that. We need more people to take advantage of this wonderful deal. So we don't lose so much money tonight. As we had to pay the tab up front, so yeah, we're gonna lose a lot of money then,
We
aren't
probably are.
we? Yeah, I blame Finneran.
Oh, this is all for them.
Okay, all right. So we talked about some of the team needs. We talked about some of the prospects of those team needs. We talked about great scenarios. You have your mock draft. Why don't you break out your mock draft? And let's go through it. And, again, if you're playing along at home, let us know if you agree with this mock draft. Let us know if you think he's an idiot. Whatever you want to do, I will literally give you the floor.
Okay.
And you go through your mock draft and explain why you thought that quickly. And, maybe spend 5 minutes doing the whole thing, and then I'll look at it and tell you what you think.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Because
All right. Well, right next to the bathroom, I will begin my.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, you're up.
Okay, so with the first pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan. I don't think I really need a whole lot of explanations. Big team lead, best player on the board. Number 2, I have the Detroit Lions selecting Trayvon Walker, defensive end out of Georgia. But this guy, he's a workout machine. He just ascended up draft boards over the last month or so since the combine. And I just think his attitude, his personality fits Dan Campbell. Like, he's the kind of guy who he's going to eat up the Dan Campbell approach. The Texans at number 3. This is a wild card type scenario. I can see the Texans go a bunch of different ways. But I have them just simply going to the best player on the board, which I think is Kevion Thibodeau. Edge pass rusher out of Oregon. This is a guy who, at one point, I think was projected to be the number 1 pick. A lot of people thought he was going to be the best player in the world. I don't know what it is. I think the production just wasn't there. But I mean, everything tests through the board. So that's my number 3. Then number 4, the New York Jets ruin our dream scenario of Sauce Gardner falling. I have the Jets going Sauce at 4. The Giants, I have at number 5 going Jermaine Johnson, defensive end out of Florida State. This is a case of he's the best player. He is the next best pass rusher. That area where when the Giants were the Giants, they were a pass rush heavy team. And that's why I think they're getting back to basics. And Jermaine Johnson's going to be their guy. Number 6, the Carolina Panthers. They talked about it. They want to add to that quarterback room. And I think they picked the first quarterback off the board. That's what we did. Now, a lot of people may think Kenny Pickett because of the connections to Matt Rule. But I really believe that this is a case of Malik Willis, best quarterback on the board. Best player at one of the four pillars. I'm going to talk about that at nauseam tonight, guys. Everybody's going to go home. The last thing they're going to think about when they go to bed are the four pillars. And this is Malik Willis going 6 to Carolina.
What?
Yes. And number 7, I have the New York Giants. They're gonna have to go offensive line. I had them go defensive line in the first pick. Second pick, they're taking Ikwanu out of NC State. This is a guy who's just ascended up boards. Like, the production was just there. He was the best tackle for NC State and for anybody really. So that Ikwanu goes number 7. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons are going to go Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver at Ohio State. Everybody just seems to think Atlanta needs a wide receiver, and everybody really kind of just believes he's the first guy off. Number 9, the Seattle Seahawks. I had them going Evan Neal, offensive tackle. He's a versatile offensive line, and Seattle needs to build that offensive line up. So that's where I had them go. Number 9. Number 10, I have the New York Jets going with George Kalafrentis, defensive end out of Purdue. And that means we're sitting there at 10. I didn't want to do any trades because this is where I think the Eagles would be looking to get up there because 2 names that really jump off the page at me that are available at number 10. The 2 names we've talked about. That's Kyle Hamilton, who I have going off at number 11 to the Commanders. And number 12, the Minnesota Vikings, I have taken Derek Stingley. That's going to be a disappointment if that were to happen. I think if that does happen, the Eagles are looking to try to get up there number 10 and take one of those 2. Number 12, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Taking Stingley. 13, I have the Houston Texans taking Drake London, wide receiver out of USC. Look, I just think there's a reason why for a long time he was rejected as like the top guy. He's a great slot guy. He's going to be great for like Austin Davis, who they're trying to build their offensive line. This is the guy who's going to help move the sticks. So that's why I think Drake London goes number 13. Number 14, I have the Ravens going Charles Cross. Just building on that offensive line. Again, the four pillars. I just think this makes a lot of sense for the offense. Number 15, I have said I believe the Eagles want Jordan Davis. That's who I want to go 15 to the Eagles. Number 16, I have the New Orleans Saints keeping Chris Olave, depending on how you pronounce it. But that's what I have the Saints taking at 16. 17, the Chargers, the offensive tackle. And if things play out the way I have on, I could see the Chargers trying to make a push into the top 10 to take an offensive tackle, to take Evan Neal. But instead, I have in this case, since I'm not making trades, Trevor Penning going to the LA Chargers. And then number 18, I would be absolutely thrilled with this scenario because I'm sure everybody's looking at me thinking, hey, why isn't this guy off the board yet? But Jameson Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama, pair him up with Devontae Smith. I think it'll be a perfect fit for the Eagles. Number 19, I have the Saints go. The Saints' biggest needs are offensive tackle, quarterback, and defensive end. I think this is our defensive line. I think they go Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle out of Georgia. Number 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have going Kenny Pickett, quarterback out of Pitt. He stays home. He's Pittsburgh Steelers. 21, the New England Patriots. I have going Devin White, linebacker out of Utah. 22, the Packers. I have them going Trayvon Burks, wide receiver out of Arkansas, who I absolutely love. 23, the Arizona Cardinals. This is like Trent McDuffie. Washington. 24, Booth goes to the Dallas. He's a nice player. And he'd be great to go next to Trayvon Diggs. Number 25. This is a luxury pick with Buffalo Bills. The only running back I have going on the board, and that's Reis from Iowa State. I have him going to the Buffalo Bills at 25. 26, the Tennessee Titans take Jacoby Dean. This guy just deserves to be first round. He needs to be first round. 27, I have the Bucks going Zion Johnson, offensive guard. They're going to want to build that offensive line. Number 28, the Packers. I have going Dax Hill, the safety out of Michigan. Chiefs at 29, Johan Dotson. 30, I have the Chiefs. We talked about possibly going with one of these edge pass rushers. David Ojabo out of Michigan, I think just stay in the first round and goes to the Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry, the Kansas City Chiefs at 30. 31, I have the only tight end going up the board in the first round, Trevor Brock. Wow. And my reason being, this is kind of I don't want to say a luxury pick, but Cincinnati Bengals looking at it, I think he's the best tight end. I know the tight ends get kind of a good rate and aren't being projected as a first round ability in any of the tight ends. I just think this might be a sneaky spot where the Bengals say, okay, do we want to take the 7th best or 8th best pass rusher, the 9th best offensive tackle, or do we want to just go guy maybe the best in his position in Trevor Brock? And I just think anything he's been asked to do, he's just not that hard. Like for Colorado State. And number 32, wrapping up the first round. Now, I do think there's a good chance at the back end of this draft we see people trade out.
Sure, that's what we always do, yeah.
And right now, if they're staying, everybody's picking at their picks. I have Kyler Gordon going.
Back corner from Washington.
Another guy who kind of fits that Dave Campbell style. Like he's a feisty corner. Like what I put up. Well, honestly, I don't get to watch tape. I watch YouTube videos. This guy's just he's just nasty. He plays with an attitude, he plays with an edge, and that just reminds me of Dave Campbell type. I think whether it be 32 or another spot like in the second round, I think Kyler Gordon is a guy that the Lions are talking.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And in that mindset, it reminded me of a wide receiver that's been projected to go in the second round, probably before the Eagles select, but it would be somebody I would love to either fall or for them to trade up for. And that's George Pickens out of Georgia.
Yes.
That guy is a feisty wide receiver. And I think with the combination of him with Devontae Smith, getting him in the second round, especially if you go defense in the first round for the Eagles, and going for the wide receiver there in the second, I think that could be a home run top 3 pick, especially if you're hitting good defensive players in the first round.
Now I know you stepped out. If you want me to bring up my first rounds.
So who did you have the Eagles take?
I had them going Jameson Williams and I had Jordan Davis. So Jordan Davis was our 6th, was the big 18.
Okay, so it went Davis and then Williams.
Yeah, Williams at 18.
Okay. Where did you have Kyle Hamilton go?
See, I had Kyle Hamilton ended up dropping out of the top 10.
Oh, that would kill me.
Yeah.
Okay, what about
And
Sauce?
12 was Stigma.
Oh, Sauce went where?
I had Sauce going forward.
4 to the Jets, okay. What about my boy?
Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd. Yeah, I swear. Okay, I'll tell you this right now. And I don't know, I wasn't here, I didn't hear it. But if Devin Lloyd goes after number 18, I'm going to smack you. Where'd he go? Son of a bitch. Where did Dean go? 26?
Yeah, it's Tennessee.
Tennessee? Okay. That makes sense. They both need linebackers. But yeah, I would be hard.
I positioned myself. I was going to let you do it.
We'll wait for it off the air to just officially smack the shit out of you. But yeah, so there's Eric's mock draft. I was.
You want to look at it? I'm proud of this.
How are you now?
Yeah.
Pretty proud. pretty proud of me of my list here.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I don't know
see.
if I pronounced if I spelled
Hudson, Walken, Thibodeau, Sauce, Jermaine Johnson at 5. Wow, that's high.
But, yeah.
Okay.
I just had the Giants going with the trenches.
Yeah. Willis, Quano, Wilson, Neal, Loftus, Hamilton, Stingley, London, Cross, Lave, that's pretty par for the course. Pickett to the Steelers. Trayvon Burks to the Packers. That makes sense. Yeah. And it all looks pretty decent. Bryce Hall, though, to the Bills. Wow.
It's a luxury pick. I think if anybody's going to take a running back in the first round, the Bills make the most sense.
I will tell you this right now. I don't see a scenario where a running back or a tight end goes in the first round. I just don't see it.
Okay.
Crazier things have happened. We all know.
I wanted to take a couple swings with
Yeah.
I didn't want it to just be, Bucky's mock draft or mock draft. I wanted it to be a little different. I didn't want to go complete MJD.
Yeah, well, that guy's out.
What's the term? There's a term used in a movie, Tropic Thunder, where they say, don't go full.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's
And
aggressive.
I don't want to go. Instead, I'm going to say, don't go full MJD. And I love MGD. I actually think he's a great guy to watch.
Oh, I don't.
See,
I hate his guts.
I think he's entertaining.
No, I absolutely hate his guts. Yeah, and he's the type. Hey, Uncle Nick, what up?
Oh, Uncle Nick in the house. All right.
More family, no friends.
All you need is family.
All right, well, I'll count those two as me.
Well, I think that's appropriate.
Okay, good. At least I get somebody, right? I couldn't even get our own co-host.
Yeah, right.
I would count him. So, yeah.
Look, why don't we talk a little bit more? Why don't we do a little back and forth?
Okay, we can do that.
So we will each be the GMs. Or before we get to that, maybe we'll talk about possible trade situations. Obviously, I have looked at nauseum Eagles Steelers as trade partners.
Yeah.
If that scenario I laid out, let's just say that's the way the top 10 goes. And we're at, let's just say the first 9. So number 10, you're sitting there, and Stingley and Hamilton are both sitting there because they each survived 12. Because I think they're both going at 11 and 12.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
What are you willing to do to get up there to get one of those guys?
To 10?
Yes.
I think honestly our third pick, at number 83, I think should be enough.
So the Jets come back to you and say, look, man, you're going to have to add some more.
6th rounder?
If they said to you right now, okay, we want, obviously, 15.
Right.
And we want the 3rd rounder. We want Andre Dillon.
Oh, I do that in a heartbeat. If that's what it takes, I'm in.
I think I would too.
I'm 100% in on that. So, all right. So we want to do. We'll do a little mock draft where we'll take everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do that. In fact, let's exit out of this. Start a mock draft.
And we'll make our case for each.
Select all. We'll just do, let's say, actually, I'll just do the first 3 rounds. Doesn't really matter the speed. All right. Do you want to go first?
I can.
Okay. All right. So, got it. As number 2, I honestly think that they should go quarterback. I know it's not necessarily sexy, but I don't think they think that Jared Goff is a franchise guy. So I'm going to go Malik Willis.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Did not see that coming.
Okay, you have Houston.
Trevon Walker.
Okay, Trayvon Walker. Let's see, the Jets. Jets have a lot of need as well. I don't know how they pass on Thibodeau. I think he's just a great prospect.
In that scenario, absolutely.
And considering they have 2 top 10 picks, I feel like they can have the luxury of doing it. All right, Giants, you're up.
Giants, this has got to be a case. I just want to make sure you don't steal the top offensive tackle that I want to
Okay.
especially since you did have the quarterback already on the board.
All right. I'm actually going to do it again.
So you're going to pick it?
I'm going to go pick it here.
All right.
I honestly think that all of the things that we've been hearing are mostly smokescreen, and these 2 franchises need a quarterback. So, all right, you're back on the Giants again.
All right, so I already got the offensive line taken care of, so this has got to be my defensive line. Yeah, I'm going Jermaine Johnson.
Okay. Well,
So they still
in
end
your
up
mind, you got to pick player.
I have them flip-flopped. I have Jermaine Johnson, and then
Yeah. All right. There's a lot of positions we can go here. I think they really are focused on wide receiver. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson.
Seattle, I have them going. Well, I have them in my mind going to the meal. I'll have them here as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Jets. I don't see how the Jets pass on Sauce Gardner. I mean, especially if he falls. All right, Washington, you.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, Philadelphia. Kyle Hamilton.
Arr. All right, Minnesota is me.
By the way, we're both doing Philadelphia. So we have to agree.
Well, yeah, okay. All right. Well, you took who I really wanted in Hamilton for Minnesota. I think the next available person of need, I think might be Jordan Davis. All right, you're Houston again.
Why are you going to make me do this? It's got to be Steve.
Killing me, bro. All right, I know. All right, so who do they need?
I think I had them go class.
Yeah, they can use offense. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. I think I'm going to go Karlaftis.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense.
All right, Eagles are on the board. We have a couple wide receivers here, London and Williams. We have some, offensive linemen. We have Wyatt. We have McDuffie. We have Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd. Who are you thinking?
I'd like to take Duff.
See, I would say Williams.
Well, he was my second choice.
All right, let's go Williams. All right, Saints. Do we go wide receiver or do we go quarterback here? I personally think we should go Drake London.
To the Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know they probably would love to go offensive line there. This is where I think the Chargers go offensive line. So we got Charles Cross.
Yeah. You are the Chargers. We're both Eagles again. I mean, I know you want McDuffie, but I really want Lloyd. What do I got to do?
What is the big representation for doing there?
All right. Best 2 out of 3?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 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 Ah, damn it.
Yes! McDuffie it is.
McDuffie it is. Son of a
The
bitch.
fairest way to settle it. Paper, rock, scissors, right here and there.
All right. You are odd, so you have
Okay. So I have who?
Saints.
Saints.
So are you going to go with the quarterback now that the two of the main top guys are
Guys
gone?
are gone.
Do you want Ritter?
Yes, Ritter would be the quarterback I would take. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think the Saints need to take it.
All right. So Pittsburgh, I personally think they obviously really wanted quarterback. There's no safety. There's no real corner I would take. I'm going to go Zion Johnson. They need an interior line as well. I think Johnson could be the pick.
That's a nice one.
All right, you're up with Patriots.
Yeah. It's got to be. It's got to be.
It hurts my soul. All right, I got to go Olave here. They need a wide receiver bad. All right, Cardinals.
All right, Cardinals. Who do we have? Yeah. What are some of the names that are available? Wyatt's a nice choice. I like Carolina.
Not a terrible need, but
Right. I think it's just a case of Well, I mean, you can maybe make your quarterback happy by getting yourself an offensive tackle and Penning.
okay.
So yeah, I think I'll go Penning.
Okay. All right. Dallas is up for me. They need edge, safety, wide receiver. I think they go. Actually, I think they're going to go Daxton Hill.
Okay.
So let's go Daxton Hill. You're up, Buffalo.
Well, now I have Wyatt available for me. I think I'm going to go Wyatt.
Okay. I am going to go with Traylon Burks here.
Okay. I like it.
Tampa for you?
Tampa. Oh, it's got to be
Booth. Okay. Green Bay back again. I'm going to go Boye Mafe.
Okay.
Need an edge. All right, Kansas City.
All right, so let's see. Who's available? Jahan Dotson is available. Jacoby Dean is available. I do think one of these picks are going to kind of go off the wall, something we don't expect. So that's why I'll put it for me.
Okay. All right, I'll take their other one, and I will go Elam. As they need that. All right, you're up.
This could be a case where I just think they gotta keep the quarterback up. So I'm gonna go Kenyon.
Okay. Yeah, they've certainly invested in quite a bit of offensive line this year. All right, and we're up to Detroit. They already grabbed quarterback number 2. I think they can, they could go a multitude of ways, and I think they're going to go Dotson.
Okay.
Get a wide receiver. All right, you're up, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville again. You invest in your quarterback. You invest in your structure. This has got to be. Where's the best offensive tackle?
Raymond.
Who's that?
Raymond.
Raymond? Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I'm up Detroit again. And I'm going to go Lewis Senior.
Okay.
Jets?
The New York Jets. Kyler Gordon.
Okay.
Pair off.
Yeah. Giants. I'm going to go Lindenbaum.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Houston?
Houston. I'll go Jamba.
Okay. Jets. Let's see. I'm going to go with Sky Moore.
Yeah. Chicago Bears. Is Reis Hall really that guy for them?
I mean, it's not an immediate need, though.
No, I
you
go
know?
Jaquan Brisker. Safety.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to take a quick break because I got
All right, I'll continue. I'm going to go with Howell here for quarterback. And then, let's see. We had talked about him earlier as the fifth best defensive end edge player. We'll take the defensive end from Penn State. Colts, finally on the board. They have a lot of needs, but I think Christian Watson could be nice for Matt Ryan. Speaking of Matt Ryan, his old team, Atlanta, really could use an edge or a quarterback. And I actually think they're going to go Matt Corral. Somebody who does not need a quarterback, Cleveland, they're on the board for the first time. And I think they go Travis Jones, interior defensive lineman, do tackle. Let's see. Baltimore really could use a corner or interior offensive line, interior defensive line. Yeah, I think they should go Tariq Woolen out of University of Tennessee State. Let's see, Minnesota. Minnesota definitely needs a safety. They're going to go pitcher. Oh, brother. All right, Washington. They're going to take Pickens here. It's their number one need, and they need somebody to complement with. Oh man, I'm blanking on his name. Yep, I don't got it. All right, Chicago. Let's see. They needed a definite offensive tackle, so let's go there. So did the Saints, but unfortunately just took one. I'm going to go Winfrey here. Let's see, Kansas City.
All right, so where are we at?
I'm going to go with Brees Hall. All right, we're up to Eagles.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, so we got ourselves a corner. We got ourselves a wide receiver. I'm still going to pound the table for a linebacker, Christian Harris, personally.
All right.
Yeah.
I can get with it, yeah.
Okay. Well, shit. We just got ourselves a linebacker. People fighting? Yeah, what's going on here? All right, Pittsburgh is up. They still need a quarterback. Are there any left?
Yeah, Powell or who else you go back?
Oh, Carson Strong? Yeah, it's all way too early for him. A lot of quarterbacks went, unfortunately.
It's the position, too. I think the position just gets naturally overdrafted.
Yeah.
You know, while we're deciding this, looking at my mock draft, I know, obviously, aside from, say, the tight end and the running back that I have going in this round, anybody else that stand out as overdrafted or like notable names left off?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, LaMarvin Neal would be good here.
Yeah.
All right, Green Bay, they got an edge. They got a wide receiver. They could use an offensive tackle, an interior defensive lineman, linebacker. I think they're going to go Quay Walker, linebacker.
Yeah.
All right, Patriots, they got my linebacker. I think Tyler Smith fits with their need right here. Offensive, interior offensive lineman.
Oh, yeah, Tyler Smith. Yeah, that's a good pick. He just screams New England. When you look at him, he just screams like he would be a quarterback.
I think Roger McCreary would be here to get their number one need.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do we even have to say this team's name?
Nope. We'll go with this guy.
Sure.
It's a need. All right, so they didn't get running back, but they'll get Kenneth Walker in the second.
Hey, I think that's a great – I like Kenneth Walker a lot.
I did too.
Like, I think he's been kind of underplayed in this draft.
They need a linebacker. I'm going to go Leo Chenal from Wisconsin.
Reis. Here we go.
I think they're going to trade McBride. Give
That would
Aaron
make a
Rodgers
lot of
another
sense. That would make a lot
weapon.
of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
They need interior offensive linemen. This guy's sitting right here from Georgia, Sailor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense for them.
All right, and
San
I think they're gonna go follow back to back and go Parham, as they have a big need in interior offensive line too. All right, we still need to get Kansas City wide receiver. I think it's between David Bell and Netchie. What do you think?
I love that.
All right, Netchie it is. All right, corner, safety, tight end, Isaiah Likely, your boy.
That's my boy. Like the sword.
All right, I think Logan Hall is a big need for them at edge.
Yeah.
Denver coming on their first, and it's the end of round 2. Really should have only done 2 rounds here. As,
I mean, we can cancel this out, right?
I mean, I guess we could, but
Well, let's do it. We got it. Jacksonville. Okay, so we got a defensive lineman for him. We got an offensive lineman for him. Maybe get a receiver for the Jags, maybe?
yeah, it's a need. Same with the linebacker, safety, interior defensive line.
Just team overall. And any cool names stand out? This is where, like, you get down, like, when we're doing these mocks, like, this is where it's fun to say, yeah, okay, like, anybody, like, I'm taking Isaiah Likely in the last round.
All right, well, why don't they replace Miles Jack? We've got Chad Moman.
Okay.
All right, edge, clearly a big need for them. Let's go with Pascal from Kentucky. Giants, they've hit on a lot of their needs so far in this draft.
I'm really disappointed in us. This is a division rival, and we pretty much checked all the. They should probably give us a call to see if we can help out.
I think linebacker would be the next logical top choice here. They could use a wide receiver. They could use a running back. Why don't they go Isaiah Spiller?
Okay, I like Spiller.
Jets, offensive tackle. Here's this guy from Ohio State,
There we go.
ranked number 74.
Like you said, we clearly should have done just 2 rounds.
Yeah. Yep.
This is probably really compelling. I know the live audience is just eating this up.
I know, right? Sorry, let's run through this as quickly as we can. There we go. Edge. Do we have an edge? Yeah, we have an edge. Bonito. Do we have another edge? Yeah, we have Sam Williams. We have a corner. No, we have a linebacker. We definitely need another pitcher. Show. Oh, yeah, let me go with Taylor from Tennessee. I actually really like him. Ingram from wow, that was loud.
They can't hear you.
Nobody can? What do you mean?
I said you can't hear you.
Because it's so loud in there?
No, I don't know.
We need to change it, right?
No, that's what I said. She's like, the mics aren't working again. I'm like, no, we're using Eric's. I said, they've been testing it since 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tested it a lot, guys.
Can you
Hopefully,
check
can
it?
somebody
Actually, I haven't heard you on it.
All right. Well, that's all we need.
Ours doesn't have Facebook, so I
But
don't know.
you know what? Just from somebody who can.
Oh, well then. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Look,
Heyo.
That's it.
said,
It's not good. Did nobody else pay?
well, Alan, Jake,
Right.
Yeah, no.
Nicholas has the Benjamin.
Who?
Okay, that's fine.
Nicholas.
Okay.
Henri was a little taken back by the fact that he had to pay.
Who?
That's fine, because he paid a lot less.
So I was
Oh,
like,
did he?
Paid like
yeah.
All right. Well then,
So I
whatever.
said, no, you're good. Down at our comment.
Okay, cool.
Coming like around 9.
Okay, so they'll be here for the
Are you
after
guys
party.
taking a break?
This is kind
Yeah,
of
we're wrapping things up here.
What?
We're gonna wrap things up here.
What time is it?
almost 9 o'clock. We've been on the air. Yeah, for a while. Sorry, everybody.
Sometimes that happens, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
You guys got all taken behind the curtain there for like a little meeting. These things happen. We have to have these conversations.
you do? I'm literally just running through this as
I was
quickly
going to
as possible.
say, where are we at here?
We're almost done. I swear to God.
Well,
Man,
maybe we should be telling the audience who we're picking.
I'm just running through it.
All right. Well, look, guys, you get the point. And this is usually what happens to me on Saturday. As much as I love the draft, again, you and I love this. We look this up. There comes a point on Saturday where I almost kind of tune out a little. And then I get disappointed when I check back in and I realize there's only an hour left of this thing. And like, this is the last real big football stuff that happens until we get to training camp. Because, I mean, obviously we get the second wave of free agency.
Right.
But that's not the same as the first wave. And the excitement level is not the same.
Agreed.
And so really, it's like this is when I start to get them. Then like a lot of times, it's happened to me where I go and I look at my countdown, how much longer to that first game, and that's when it really hits me. Oh my God, this is going to take forever.
Yeah, I feel like the after draft lull is a little rough sometimes, for sure.
And I know me and one of the guys from work, we always talk about, man, this day should be canceled. This day, like, I have no interest in this day. And that tends to be, and then, like, after the draft, it's sort of like, okay, look, man, I have no interest in any days until we get to September.
Yeah. All right, Eagles.
Okay, Eagles, who's on the board here?
We got a tight end. We got a wide receiver, which we already got. We have a linebacker, which we already got.
We just moved J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to tight end.
I mean, I would take Jelani Woods personally.
Okay.
All right. Done. All right. We are running out of this quick. I am just trying to. Let's give him another wide receiver. Oh, there we go. The Rams are finally here.
Hi, Rams. Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party. Yeah.
F those picks, huh?
Yep. All right, finally we're done. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the
I
Eagles.
was going to say, can we look at each team?
We can. I don't believe we can.
Oh.
No. So the Eagles went and selected Jameson Williams, Trent McDuffie, and let's see, in the fifth we got Christian Harris, and in the fourth we got Jelani Woods. So we got a wide receiver, we got a tight end, we got a linebacker, and then we got a corner. I think those are four really good needs that we took care of, and got the Birds on the right path. So
Yeah, I think we knocked that out of the park.
we did. All right. So let's wrap up. Right now, what are we thinking? If you had to bet all your money, what position are we taking in the first two picks?
Well, I look at what are our top needs, and then I look at what are our top needs for pillars. And
You and your friggin' pillars.
look, I wanted this to be my theme.
Yeah, clearly.
I'd say our two biggest positions in need that fit in the four pillars are edge pass rusher and quarterback, but we're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that.
And wide receiver. So I'll say we're going pass
Wide
rusher,
receiver and edge rusher. So you're saying somebody like a Jermaine Johnson, a Karlaftis, and a Jameson Williams, Olave, Burks, somebody in that range.
Yes.
Okay. I will say, if I had to put money, I say they take somebody like a Devontae Wyatt or Jordan Davis. And I say they also take a wide receiver.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, I would absolutely love this scenario, and I know you would too, where we get, say, a linebacker and edge pass rusher. Because the theme I started off, our first off-season roundtable with, after I destroyed an alcoholic beverage and committed a terrible party foul.
Horrible foul.
Yeah, and I will completely own the fact that was true. But the theme I said, and I want to go back to this theme: make football violent again.
You've said that a few times.
I want that so bad.
So, yeah, I think dream scenario has to be corner or safety and linebacker.
Yeah.
And I think I'll carry that on to all three picks. Corner, safety, linebacker.
Yeah.
So,
And I just love that whenever, like, because teams always come up with their whole idea, okay, we want to run these kind of bubble screens, we want to create misdirection. I love that guy who is just that bowling ball who comes, I am the fly in your ointment. I am the guy who's going to just break up everything that you hold dear to you. And that's what I want. I want that guy who is willing to just lay somebody out, who makes football violent again.
all right. Well,
And I think your boy, Devin Lloyd, would do a whole heck of a lot.
I'm just saying.
to add to that.
I would love it. So, all right, folks. Well, we are wrapping up now. We appreciate everybody for checking in, tuning in online. Appreciate everybody from the Painted Lions who checked in. We appreciate everybody who checked in on Twitch. Got a few Twitch people, our Facebook friends, and of course everybody on YouTube on multiple
I
platforms.
want to give a big shout out to our guys who showed up here. You know, fresh from China.
I don't know about that.
Well, no, but I mean, when he first told us, I started following you guys. I was stationed in China, and he was living in China.
Visiting, yeah.
But like, at first I didn't believe it. Like, I gotta be
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It's not a normal.
I'm owning it. I didn't believe
It's
it.
not a normal thing to like be, accepting.
Yeah, and then it's like, I'm working out in China, and I stumbled on this, and I thought
That's how we bring them in. They stumble upon us. Whoops!
nobody
What is this?
purposely seeks
Nobody
us out.
purposely seeks us out. Yeah, you're right. But no, seriously,
It's so awesome.
Mike, we appreciate you coming out, buddy. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, from the Berwyn Tavern.
Yeah, guys back here, we love you so much. Seriously.
So, I hope that didn't get picked up. I hope that didn't get caught. So thank you not only for everybody who showed up tonight, but the Berwyn Tavern itself. Fantastic place here. We love it. Thank you, of course, to the Painted Lines. Thank you, of course, to Six Pack Coverage. Please check them out, sixpackcoverage.com. You can also check out thepaintedlines.com. And then last but not least, www.la-terrain.com. The official sponsor is La Terrain Watches. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys for everything that you've done for us sponsorship-wise. We also want to give a shout-out to Salvo Brothers for all of their support.
I just had to fill your beer up.
Oh, why, thank you. I appreciate that.
Guys, a toast to football. We love it.
Thank you for pouring my beer terribly. I will not.
I poorly poured beer is still better than no beer at all.
Slightly. But anyway, thank you everybody who tuned in via Facebook. And thank you everybody for giving us love and support. Make sure you like, make sure you follow, make sure you share. Not only on Facebook, but we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we are on Twitch, we're on YouTube. We're on everywhere where you can find podcasts. So give us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Spotify, the whole nine. Every little bit really does help. So we appreciate everybody who's done so far. Everything that you've done, we do appreciate. So that's it for us. We're going to head on out of here and continue the party
here.
Yeah, we're going to drink a little beer. We're going to have a little fun. Maybe eat some food because I'm starving. And then, hey, listen, if you weren't able to make it out, but you still can, all you can eat specials still apply.
Yeah, come on down.
So come on down, party with us. Eric's going to buy you a beer at least.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? So, all right, folks. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're going to head on out of here. So for the Philly Sports Alliance, this is Roundtable number 2. We will come at you later in the offseason for Roundtable number 3, a little season preview. So That's it for us, Eric. Anything to add before we start drinking heavily?
Yeah.
All right.
Call Jalen Rager. I rolled it.
Okay. Thank you for the crowd.
Yes.
Leave that in.
No, it's in.
No, it's staying.
I'm not ending it out. Okay, I'm not that good.
We support it.
Stand by it.
Wow. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. We're heading out. Appreciate it. All right. And as always, we'll see you next Monday, talking a little bit more about the draft. And then, of course, enjoy your draft night on Thursday. So for the Philly Sports Alliance, I'm Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody. Only 138 days to go.
It's not bad. We can do that. But only 5 days to the draft.
Yeah.
So
5
let's
days
start
to go.
small.
Let's stay positive.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.